Hopefully, I do some good shit here.
So, you want to be a game designer? Let me tell you what I learned in game design at uni and why it's not
If you learn game designing in India, or based on my experience on learning game design in India, you learn shit about games. The only thing they teach you is 3D animation, 2D animation, and a little bit of Unreal Engine. Not even on the game designing or development part. They just say this is Unreal Engine. You can this. It's like the professors will watch 1 hour YouTube tutorials of Unreal Engine and they will just repeat it word for word. That's it. Your game designing course is over.
exactly what you think it is. You don't touch a game engine, you don't even look at one. Instead, you write stories all day about characters,
Okay, I'm gonna watch this video.
motives, logic, subjectivity, and how to make choices that make sense to someone other than your mom. And turns out most people don't really know how to write a good story. And it's not in the they suck way. It's more like the
In my first year, when I tried to write a story, people literally stopped me and said I need to learn 3D modeling.
wow, you really thought that killing everyone would be a twist? All jokes aside, storytelling is the foundation of game design. Because you can have the jankiest game on earth, and if it's a good story, it suddenly becomes deep and meaningful, and people might actually play it. For the final of storytelling, we had to write, guess, an actual story. Pretty straightforward. I don't even remember what mine was about.
I literally had a war with my HOD because I wanted to write a story, but then he wanted me to model a 3D prop. Oh my god. I was literally fighting, like, fighting my professor because all they wanted me to do is draw and make 3D models. That's what game designing is in India.
But it was good enough to pass, which is honestly all that matters. Then came screenwriting, which was basically the same thing, except
They never teach this stuff. Whenever I brought this into my college classes, like I used to riot with my professors, and whenever I do that, they just accuse me of a bad student and a bad influence. Whenever I say I wanted, let's discuss about story writing or storytelling, they will be like, if you want to do that, go and do Viscom, go into film industries.
now you had to format everything in a very specific and annoying way. So for the final, we had to make a full screenplay. And I just remember staring at the final draft for hours trying to make dialogue that actually sounds human. History of modern art, also known as memorizing a list of dead painters so you can forget them immediately after the exam. And I have nothing against history of modern art. I'm actually an artist, and I think the history is very important. But honestly, it felt like watching paint dry. And for the final exam, we had to write answers to questions like what solution did Jasper Jones provide to challenge Bob
Okay,
Rauschenberg?
his video is actually mad good editing wise.
Rauschenberg posed by erasing de Koonin's drawing in 1953? That's the actual question. I got it from my docs. So you can think of an answer for that, and I'll just move forward. Sound design. It was one of the best courses, honestly. We got to use Reaper and learn how to bring scenes to life for sound. Our room
Uh,
tone matters, so put room tone everywhere.
they just scammed in India, man. India is such a huge place for scam. Holy fuck. All those foreign names are true. They are not stereotypical. I didn't learn. If, I literally had a friend who wanted to learn sound design and game designing, but they literally said sound designing doesn't comes in game designing because it is literally sound designing. That's what they said. I'm not making this up. When he brought up the fact of sound designing, they literally said, no, you have to learn 3D model because you have to become a 3D animator.
Kidding. And how weird everyday objects make the most unexpected sounds.
Feather dusters, right? Just feather dusters? Well, not necessarily. Let's see. Quiet, guys. Thank you. It could be a bird.
For the final, we had to pick a scene from a game or an animation and add all the sounds ourselves. The first time I worked in a group and chose a game and completely failed. So I redid it alone and picked an overall short instead. And this time I actually got a good grade. Camera Camera operations was about making short films and learning every camera move known to man. This camera moves forward. It's called dolly. This camera moves sideways. It's called truck. This is a cowboy shot, because cowboys keep their guns on their waist. The final project, I somehow convinced my teacher to grade a vlog I shot the summer before, and the best part is I passed. Concept art was one of the cooler ones.
Oh my god, he learned about camera movement. I want to know where he studied so that I can go there and study myself. Oh my god, they made us do 3D model for 3 fucking years. 3 years I was doing 3D modeling because according to Indians, that's what game designing is. Oh my god, I want to punch the shit out of my professor. I don't think I can say that shit
We had to
online.
merge environmental design with character design and create a final composition that showed both. And mine came out pretty good. Almost too good apparently, because my teacher almost accused me of using AI, which I guess is a compliment in a way.
Man, Indians are really good at scamming people, huh? Indians are really good at gaslighting, manipulation, brainwashing, and scamming the shit out of everyone. They go 0 for 4. Like,
And after doing everything but game design, we finally started modeling in Maya. You heard it right, Maya. Not Blender, because Blender's
see, my professor only focused on 3D modeling and forgot everything else. Like, till this point, I didn't do it. I only did 3D modeling for 4 years. Like, I understood the reason why I accepted during my first year was I know that 3D modeling comes in game design. Like, I know 3D modeling comes in with game development. But only doing 3D modeling for 4 years or 3 years, that shit's a scam. I'm not here to do 3D modeling for 3 years.
for peasants, and Maya is considered industry standard. Modeling in Maya basically felt like trying to fly a Boeing 737, but for the final exam we had to choose any object of our choice. And obviously, being the creative genius I am, I chose a Glock. Partly because it was square and pretty easy to model, which it wasn't, but in the end it came out pretty good. And because it came out
That's
so
a
good,
pretty good
I
model.
decided to texture it and make it look like it was a piece of charcoal. And somehow I passed. It's probably
Yeah,
because he
it
felt
looks
bad for me,
good.
because at the exam, he put the projector on and put my model on, and he pressed free, which apparently smooths everything out. And I didn't
Yeah.
know that, so when he did that, my model
I
got
mean, it's
jacked.
your first year,
Till
so
this
it's
day, I still
fine.
don't understand why you have to press free and smooth things out while you're also modeling, but I still passed, and I swear I'm a better modeler now. Year 2.
Okay, let's see what
Finally,
we
we
learned.
touched Unity, our first real game engine, and everything started to make
I touched my first game design engine or game development engine or game fucking engine. I think it was second year itself. But still, I was only doing 3D modeling. Fuck.
sense, or at least enough sense to make a bowl move. I learned C Sharp, made my first scripts,
Brother, I'm just so jealous of the foreign studies. Like people study what people study in the foreign. No wonder people go to foreign for the studies. Like I just want to. I love India so much. I don't want it to leave this country. I want to make this country a better place, and I wanted to stick here. Right. I wanted to learn the in and out of this country. So I didn't go out to learn game design, and I felt so great that India is developing and they are providing game design courses for students. Diversity in employment wise. But then that shit was just a scam.
broke everything multiple times, fixed it once, and I felt
Like
like God.
nobody knew what they were doing. I'm not talking about the students, I'm talking about the professors. Like nobody knows, nobody can understand how a game works. But they wanted to make a game designing course and make it into 3 years just because they want to earn money. Isn't that fucking weird? Like people business education. I'm not saying in India, but in general, people just business. Like for some people, education is a way they make money. Like literally, none of my I can't say it. I don't want to say it, but none of my professors know how a game works. But they still taught us how a game works for 3 years. So just imagine that. Like I'm not saying that everybody is a scammer, but there are a lot of scammers in this country world. I'm just mad that I got scammed personally. It's not me alone. The rest of my class also got scammed, and some of them still thinks that's what game designing actually is. Like people are dumb, not dumb. People are innocent to a point where they believe others, they trust others, especially when it comes to teachers who have experience, who have life experience, who have lived more than what we have lived. Like my teacher, like my age is my teacher's experience, right? So there are innocent people, innocent human beings that put their whole trust when it comes to their career. Like they put their whole trust in their career in another person's hand, and they are just ruining it because he came to the city with a fact or with a point. Like he thought he was gonna learn game designing and he was excited, but then by his second year he lost every single interest in game designing just because he felt he couldn't do anything to it. Like he learned that he was learning game designing and he was getting scammed. Like he was literally paying 1 lakh per semester, right? It's 1 lakh, it's around 1 lakh per semester. So he was just getting scammed, and then by third year he didn't even come to college. He just left. He just started doing part-time job in the city as well, and he just left. He did not drop out. He did come and write all the exams. He passed out, but he didn't come the third year. He literally said, when I asked him why are you not attending your classes, he said, brother, that's a waste of time. Instead of attending classes, I could just work on a part-time and earn money. That was his perspective. Like instead of wasting time, he was saving time. He was saving time and he was saving money. So that's how bad Indian education system is when it comes to newer stuff. If it's like engineering, doctors, lawyers, the regular bullshit, old same as thing, it's fine. If people have an understanding on how it works. But when it comes to like new stuff, they want to introduce this, they want to do it, but they don't have the qualified people to do it.
My first project was a simple bowl game, then another bowl game, and then finally a first person game, which was also my final exam. And we basically had to make a vertical slice showing all the mechanics the game had to offer. The thing
Bruh.
is, I made a great
My
cutscene.
my final our final project was to model a 3D prop. That's it. If I have a better model, if I have a better 3D model that is animated, let me remove the headset. If I had a 3D character with an animation, just walk cycle, basic walk cycle, then I passed a game designing exam. That's how bad education is. Like, in order to pass a game design, let me repeat it. In order to pass a game design exam, I need to make a 3D character and animate it so that it has a perfect walk cycle. Like, and if I have a character that has a perfect walk cycle, I have passed the game designing exam. Indian education system.
At the beginning and a very good first level, but after you pass that, I ran out.
I'm sorry, it feels like I'm accusing a lot of stuff, but I don't know if it's an Indian education system or it's just the not the university, the place. I mean, the people that taught us game designing were scamming us. I feel like I don't know how to categorize them, separately, but it's just scam.
Of time because the exam was coming up, and I just submitted it. And even though most of my buildings didn't have ceilings and the final boss was basically a static mesh, I still passed somehow. Level design was probably my favorite
Because
subject
you are already better than most people. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna finish.
because it got really technical and psychological about how to guide players with light, color, geometry, and sound. How to use environments to make people move exactly where you want them to without even realizing it. It's kind of manipulative, but also kind of genius. We also had linear storytelling, which is basically all about storyboards. Yeah, I'm an artist, by the way. And then we got
I'm so jealous of this. I really wanted to do this. I really wanted to learn this, but I never got to learn this. I never got to experience this because I'm stuck here and people just scam me.
Got back into Maya, this time for animation, which was way easier, but actually took forever to do. And here, basically all the little projects we did over the semester accounted for the final project. We had to make balls bouncing, walking balls, balls being lifted, and I swear I stared at more balls than a tennis referee. But the last few animations were better because they
Like him saying he wanted to do him doing walk cycle animation for an animation exam, fine, accepted. But doing the same for a game exam, there's something wrong. There's something wrong. I'm just having flashbacks. There are a lot of shit that I wanted to say, but since I'm a fucking nobody, it's like people would, it is easy for people to silence me,
actually involved actual people. We had to
to
make them
mute
talk,
me.
move, and dance. And even though it looks slightly cursed, I still had a lot of fun. Houdini effects. Houdini and I had a love-hate relationship. More of a hate relationship. And abusive. I was never a fan of modeling. Or visual scripting. And Houdini somehow works using both. It's basically a visual modeling tool that uses nodes to build models. And they can be procedurally changed, which basically means that instead of going back and remodeling something, you can change a couple nodes and make a completely different structure. Sounds very cool, unless you actually have to do it. I made a procedural apartment building, which means basically that with a slider you can change the amount of floors it has, or even the structure. I chose to destroy it with a fireball, because it was honestly the easiest way, and it looked cool. Except for like 3 weeks when the smoke simulation refused to work. But the night before exam I cached everything again and suddenly it did. And I swear that moment gave me hope that I can actually be a Houdini modeler one day. I won't. Unreal Engine
Don't even know how Houdini works. I spent 3 years of my life getting a game designing certificate, degree certificate.
5. This was the last game engine we worked in. And we didn't do
I learned Unreal Engine by watching YouTube tutorials, by the way.
any games in it. We only did
Maya and 3D modeling were the only stuff they taught me. They didn't even teach me Blender. Maya was the only stuff they taught me, and 2D drawing. Like I had a great professor that taught me how to draw, and gave me hope that I also can draw. So except him, except that 3D professor, except my 3D professor, except my 2D professor, everybody deserves it. Shout out to my 2D professor.
landscaping. So I basically became a digital gardener for about 4 months. For the final, we had to make an environment, and I chose to make a mountainous environment with a castle on top of a little island in the middle of a little lake. And it looked amazing. Except at the end of the render, all the grass disappeared, and I was too tired to fix it. But luckily the professor didn't notice, so I passed, and that's all that matters. Year 3. I basically started it for about 2 weeks, but here's what I'm doing.
So he did all that stuff in year 2. I'm jealous. I'm literally jealous. I want to meet this man. I literally want to meet this guy. I'm subscribing him. I'm
It's all about
subscribing to
software
him.
now. Houdini and Unreal Engine together this time. Great. We have to make a procedural island environment. We're also doing Unity again, but focusing on systems and little projects, and Unreal again in a different course. But this time it's about visual scripting, so we're actually doing game mechanics. The only non-game course we have is New Media Aesthetics, which is actually really interesting, because it's all about psychology and perception. We barely started this year, so I can't really tell you how it's gonna go. All I know is that we have a massive final project at the end, since it's the last year, and I didn't really think about anything yet. I don't know if I want to make it in Unity or Unreal, or maybe make a third-person game or first-person, or even VR. Let me know in the comments what kind of game you'd actually want to see me make, and maybe I'll even get a good grade.
I literally feel like crying. I just want to cry because I wasted 3 years of my life trying to learn what I love. But at the end of the 3 years, I just got scammed into learning 3D animation.
On it. So, is it worth it to go to university for game design? The short answer is yes. The longer answer is you're gonna basically learn everything off YouTube at home because you're not gonna remember anything from class. Although I do think we got very interesting perspectives and we're actually getting taught by people that work in the industry. So that's very helpful. It's a very competitive industry and you're gonna have to learn a lot of things and stand out for what you do. But people who come in this line of work actually enjoy what they're doing. So this is very different compared to other industries you might think of working in. So if
My experience by learning game designing in from where, from where I am, I first year I learned how to draw, which is actually useful for me, and they taught me how to design a 3D model, how to make a 3D model. That's my first year. Second year, they taught me how to make a 3D model, but in a different software. So the first year it was Maya, second year it was 3ds Maths, and a little bit of Unity, but they didn't focus on Unity because it's a game engine. They wanted me to become a 3D animator, so they primarily focused on Maya. So we were learning on second year of game designing. We were learning three Maya, three Autodesk Maya, 3ds Maths, and a little bit of Unity. Third year of game designing, we were learning Unreal, 3ds Maths, Autodesk Maya. That's it. That's it. That's how game works. No theory subjects, nothing. It's just all waste of money and time. Literally, I could have chosen any other course and did game designing as my side hustle. But no, my stupid brain wanted to learn game designing and I just wasted 3 years of my life. So yeah, if that helps for you guys, if you guys are from India, that's how game designing works, or that's how it worked for me. I hope it works good for you guys. I hope you guys find good stuff. I'm praying for you guys. If you guys want to make good games, please do make good games. Like I'm just praying for you guys. Like my life, I'm not gonna say my life was ruined, but it did take few years of my life. I hope that doesn't happen to you guys. That's it. Thanks for watching this video, and see you guys in another video.